to Forza Friday, and with me is Stephen Gibbs, who's got a what, Stephen?
A 1960 Alfa Romeo.
A 1960 Alfa Romeo in the mountains. It doesn't get much better than this. Coming up next on Forza Friday on the Fast Lane Car. How long have you had it?
I've had it almost 20 years.
It's a long time to own a car.
It's a long time, particularly for me.
Yeah, you've gone through a couple Alphas, I bet.
100?
100 Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, roughly
so
100.
What's special? Why'd you keep this one?
You know, I like the vintage feel. It really feels like an old car. Even the Duettos feel kind of modern. The looks, obviously, I like that it's small, with the convertible top completely hidden away and sheet metal across the top. It's actually more rigid than the later cars. I fit in it better. The later cars,
Stretched out.
Knees up, arms out. This fits me perfectly without any modifications. Those are kind of the things in a nutshell. It's fast enough. I can go fast without being too illegal.
Yeah, on the back it says 1300, but that's not a 1300 under the hood, is it?
No, not in the mountains. It's a 1750.
So why'd you decide to switch it out?
A little more torque.
Yeah.
Mainly a little more torque. Get around the hills a little better. Pass Subarus that are in your way. Things like that.
And what is it about Alfa Romeos that drew you? What makes this such a special brand for you?
A nice combination of styling, engineering, and fuel economy.
So you get the best of all three.
I feel I get the best of all three. Yeah, it meets my needs really well.
And the fact that it's Italian doesn't hurt, and the fact that it's resale red.
Italian stuff. it is. This was the Pininfarina blue originally, but it was repainted red before I bought it.
More noise from the front of the car than you do from the back of the car.
Carburetors.
Well, and the other thing about this car is you sit so low, and yet you're right. You're not. It's not uncomfortable, right? You're not like, you don't feel like you have to be a monkey to fit in the vehicle. It's actually normal.
Surprisingly well. That way it got springs on it as well.
Okay, yeah, it feels really tight. Well, through these turns it feels great.
Yeah, it's a fun car to have fun with. Considering it's 53 years old,
Yeah.
It just kind of runs.
Yeah, it's older than me. So how rare are these? How many?
I believe 56 through 65, they made roughly 25,000 cars, right in that range.
Now, Alfa Romeo is kind of an unusual brand because around the world, it's the un-Ferrari in some ways, right? It's the brand that people who either don't like the reputation that Ferrari has or quite can't afford a Ferrari go for. Unfortunately, in America, the brand went away, and so people aren't that familiar with it. Do you know a little bit of the history of the brand?
Well, Ferrari used to work for Alfa.
That's right.
Back in the day.
Yep.
So there's definitely some Ferrari blood in it. I do find that Ferrari owners come up to me and want to talk about the Alfa, even though they own a Ferrari. They still, their heart has a place for Alfas in it. After the war, they got into more quote middle class cars like this, cars like the 1900s. Before the war, they were very expensive, kind of exotic cars.
And they raced them. They've always had a long
they
racing
raced
heritage.
them big time. Yeah. They raced with Ferrari. Then even after Ferrari left, Mr. Ferrari left, they raced them.
Was this a specific American import? Did they do a lot of these?
Well, actually, more convertibles were imported to America than were sold in Europe, because Europeans, this is, not that far from post-war.
Yep.
They were buying coupes and sedans.
And they had no money.
They didn't have the money to buy toys like this.
Yeah. But
so
we did.
There's very few coupes here, and a lot of spiders.
I think the other part of the Alfa mystique is that it's affordable. This is a car that you can buy, you can drive, and you can enjoy without the fear of having a $10,000 bill if somebody happens to scratch your side of your wing, as everybody say.
And when they're put together right, they're reliable.
Yeah.
I change the oil and I grease the chassis and I drive the car.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I just drove it over Independence Pass, Aspen and back. I'm not freaking out about it dropping a valve or anything. It just runs. And that's a wonderful thing.
And how much is this car worth, would you say, today?
That's a good question. I'm not real up on the market. Someone very recently told me in the low 40s.
Okay. And how much did you buy it for?
$8,800. But that's not what it's about.
All right. No, of course not. But it's interesting just how much the value of these cars have gone up.
Well, but that's cheap if you look at everything else. I mean, even, Triumphs and Austin Healey's. Well, Austin Healey's are, $70,000, $80,000 cars these days. Everything's gotten so expensive. So these are still very affordable cars, and they're a lot of car for the money.
So you've owned hundreds, you said. Is this the one you're going to hold on to? Is this the one that you're going to...
Well, I've owned it 20 years.
Yeah.
I'll probably hang around for a while longer. Yeah. I really enjoy it. I just smile when I drive it. And then people smile when you see it. They don't look at it and say, oh, rich SOB in a Ferrari.
Exactly.
It's like, wow, cool old Alfa.
Yeah.
And that's fun too. Cruising on 2-lane roads, I'm probably in the high 20s.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fat cam and it's got dual Webers. And you just can't beat modern fuel economy modern fuel injection for fuel economy. I think my BMW gets better fuel economy than this thing.
I bet you it doesn't sound better.
It doesn't sound better. It handles better.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your car with us.
I appreciate
it, Stephen.